Hi, excuse me. Can I interview you for my YouTube channel?
Huh?
Can I interview you for my YouTube channel?
What's it about?
It's about your feet and mental health.
It's about what?
It's about your feet and mental health.
Feet and mental health?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Alright, cool. Yeah, so what I do is I approach strangers, women, and I teach other guys on my YouTube how to get over anxiety by interviewing women to see how you feel about your feet and how you feel about guys that like women's feet.
Okay.
Alright,
yeah.
cool. Awesome. Yeah, it's perfect. Alright, let me know when you're ready.
What should I say?
It's just a conversation.
Okay.
So I ask you questions.
Okay, cool.
Alright, so how did we get to this moment just now?
Yeah, you just asked me right now, pulled up. I was reading an article about a fat kid camp in the 90s.
A fat kid camp in the 90s.
Yeah.
And what's the context about?
Just like how, just like how fatness was sold as like an insecurity, like as an obvious insecurity to children. And
Okay.
like, these like wealthy parents would like send their kids to this camp, and the runner of it, she was like this matriarch.
Yeah.
And she would always try to like make the most money as possible from like, you know, exploiting their insecurities. And
Okay.
it's just filled with like a bunch of like crazy shit of like how fatness is looked at.
Okay.
Shamefully.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
the purpose of the camp was to get them in shape or what?
But yes, it was like you're gonna lose all this weight, and like Chad from one of the cabins is gonna like, you know, he's gonna kiss you if you lose another 50 pounds, and you can't eat after 5 o'clock, and no Butterfingers or anything like that.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. It's
All right.
pretty crazy.
Okay, so talking about your feet, how do you feel about your feet?
I'm pretty insecure about my feet.
Really?
It's actually one of my biggest insecurities.
Why is that?
I don't like the way that they look.
You don't like the way that they look?
Yeah. I also wear Birkenstocks all the time.
Okay.
And so like I have a really bad Birkenstock tan.
Okay.
So it's like tan, not tan.
Okay.
Tan again.
You know, I've interviewed other women who have issues about that, like tan lines on their
Yeah,
feet. I don't understand why that's a big issue.
I think for me it's because it's so obvious that
Okay.
this is the only shoe that I'm wearing nonstop.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
like, yeah, I don't know. It's a dumb insecurity, but it's still there.
Yeah.
And also like I have like a genetic thing in my family where like big toes actually go inward instead
Okay.
of like kind of straight up. Like my mom got surgery on it when I was a kid.
Okay.
And she was like, one day you're gonna have to get surgery so your like foot can look like cosmetically appealing. And I always
Okay.
thought that was just so odd.
Really? How old are you?
When it happened?
No, how old are you now?
I'm 21.
You're 21? So when does your insecurity of your feet start, would you say?
I think around the time that my mom was getting her surgery, and that was like around like 2009.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think because she was like noticing her feet so much, and I was young and impressionable, that
Yeah.
I was like looking at my own feet
Right.
as like, should I be nervous?
Okay.
But like I think also like I don't like being called dainty or petite in any way.
You don't?
I don't.
Why?
It feels like a weakness. Like when people label me that way, they don't see me as someone with substance. Like they just write me off. So when people are like, "You have such small and dainty feet," I'm like,
Yeah.
"Don't say that."
Really? Because I've given that compliment before, and it's mostly associated with like femininity.
Yes, and I do embrace my femininity, but I don't know. I'd rather be called like, I don't know. That's just not the compliment that I want to receive.
Okay, so you've had compliments on your feet before.
No, more just like comments of like, they're really small.
Okay.
Or like, why do they look like that? And I'm just like, oh, it's a genetic thing.
Okay, has a man ever given you a compliment about your feet?
No.
Okay, how would you feel if a man gave you a compliment about your feet?
I immediately think, does he have a foot fetish?
Why is that the first thing that comes to mind?
Because, yeah, I feel like men who do actively like feet, I'm just like, why? I don't know. Like, I'm just like, that's not part of like the rest of the body. Like, it's just kind of like you have to look down to look at feet.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm one of those guys that like women's feet, and you know, it started at when I was a child, and like as I grew up, I just find beauty in women's feet, like the texture, the look of it, when they're taken care of, and things like that.
Yeah.
And so, do you have a therapist?
I do not.
Okay, so the whole YouTube channel got started because my therapist taught me dialectical behavioral therapy, and if someone's suffering from anxiety or like a fear of approaching strangers, DBT will advise you to go out and like put yourself out of your comfort zone and approach people. So my channel is like application of DBT, of me talking to women about men's interest in women's feet. So guys can like acclimatize themselves to different behaviors, because some women are open to it, some women are closed off to it. But you know, it's for guys who like, you know, get anxious, you know, telling women about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, if a guy was like into your feet, like wanted to give you like a foot massage, you like foot massages?
No, I'm extremely ticklish.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so if a guy was like wanted to rub your feet, kiss your feet, smell your feet, lick your feet and all that.
Yeah, I'd be like, no thank you.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just like really insecure, and I'm like really sensitive about them. Just
Mm-hmm.
like, ugh.
So what's the worst that could happen though?
The worst?
Because you're insecure about how they look, right?
Yeah.
But what if a guy found beauty in your feet?
I would be like, well, that's great. I'm glad that you found beauty in that thing. And like, I do attempt to take care of them. Like I do enjoy pedicure. I really do.
Okay.
But like,
They look
when
pedicured
I
right
do have
now.
the pedicures, I'm like gripping like both
Really?
sides.
Is that bad?
Because I'm just like, you're tickling my feet.
Is that bad?
Yeah.
Can I get some close-ups of your feet? Can I look at them? No? Why not?
I told myself I will not show my feet online if it was for free.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, but you would get paid for it?
If I got paid for it, depends on how much I would get paid to.
Like how much is it good?
I'd say 50 and up.
50 and up for how long?
For how long?
Yeah.
You get 50 and up for like 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
And what can the guy do with your feet?
Just look. It would have to be way more to like actually touch and all that. Because again, I'm really ticklish. So I'm just like, you're putting me at discomfort for your own like interest in it.
Right.
So I'm just like, that has nothing to do with me. It has all to do with you.
Right.
So yeah. Like,
So if a guy wanted to like kiss and lick on your feet and all that, how much would you charge him for that?
2 months rent.
2 months rent? How much is that?
Depends where I'm living at that moment in time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Not something I can get behind. But like, I'm not gonna, like, I wouldn't pass judgment, but it's been more like, not for me. That's just you.
Okay.
Go find someone else.
So you can imagine a positive outcome coming out of it for you?
I can imagine a positive outcome because I can manage myself being placid.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like if he was like extremely aggressive about it, I'd be like, yeah.
But you couldn't get enjoyment out of it. If he was getting enjoyment out of it.
Yeah. Because like if you're saying like it's like an intimate relationship, I feel like everything should be equal. So if it's something that you enjoy and not something that I enjoy, like then I'm not being considered in that equation. So I'd be like, okay, you have this interest. I am not comfortable with this, so I feel like the best solution is you to seek out a third party.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you be cool with that?
Like.
If you were in a relationship with someone?
And they were just like, if they were like romantically going after other women, just like for feet.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not really a scenario I've thought about. I don't know.
You don't know?
I think I would say, like, I don't feel negative towards it, but I also don't like feel positive. Like, I'm like a neutral.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Okay, well, wrapping things up, what did you think about this interview, this conversation?
It opened me to modes of therapy. It made me realize that, I don't know, putting fear to the side and like actually looking at what I think objectively of things that I don't really think about. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does. Yeah, I mean, it's like thinking outside the box.
Thinking outside of the box, but like not initially looking at it and like immediately hopping on the train or like hating it altogether. Like, this is something you're interested in. How can I, as just like another equal human being, like understand where you're coming from?
Right.
Yeah.
But for you, in order to indulge, you have to get paid for it.
I have
Substantially.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything about the interview that would have been better about? Is there any refinements, critiques you have?
I don't know. This is like I write. I'm a writer. And like one thing that I always notice with men who interview is that they like always like there's no like grounds for safety. Like there's no like parameters. So like I'm like a, like I'm a single woman out here. And like what if you had like all the wrong intentions? How would I know that? And I always like had to remind men that like we live in a patriarchal society and we need to like give some sort of like script or baseline to be like I am not one of them in some form or another. And like it's all trial and error and it won't always be received well, but yeah, like I don't know, that's also just like fear of being alone in the world.
For you as a woman, okay. Was there anything about my approach that could have been better? How was my approach?
Your approach was nice. I like that you smiled.
Okay.
I wasn't just like, hey.
Yeah. Okay.
It was just very like, hi, I'm doing this thing. I'm very, very honest with you, which is appreciative. So you know what I'm getting into. Like it would suck if you were like, I would like to interview you, and then like halfway through I figure out what you're interviewing me about. I'd be like, I don't really want to do this anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Any parting words?
Any parting words? Be kind to others. And be kind to yourself.
All right. Excellent. Thank you very much. Take care.